Like this, but I'm going to put on my Oprah attitude and make it work. So, Atia, you pin the name I can't even pronounce it. Say it.
Mompreneur.
Mompreneur. Please explain what that is.
I have a 1-year-old. She just turned 1 on the 19th, and I'm also a business owner. So it just go hand in hand. You can't, focus on one or the other. So you got to combine them together. So I'm a mompreneur.
And Material Girl is another pen name you gave yourself in your company. Explain why.
Well, I like nice things. I spell it MTRLGIRL just because material, the word is too long. So I took out all the vowels and I just kept the remaining letters, and that's basically what that name has been something I called myself since, I'm not sure if you all know, but back when MySpace, like years and years and years ago, I was probably around 13, 14. I was in 9th grade, and that's when people started giving themselves names. Like you have like Bombshell this, or anything like that. And I just gave myself a name for my social media. And that's just something that I carried over and over. And now I'm 27 and I still go by Material Girl.
And you definitely are a Material Girl. If anybody want to follow her on social media, you see that she definitely fits the name Material Girl. I want you to explain a little bit about your business and tell us how you came up with the concept of your business.
Okay, so I own a hair extensions company by the name of Intense Beauty. Intense Beauty came about in 2016. Everyone would ask me where did I get my hair extensions from, and where can you get that? And I feel like if somebody is asking you where can they get something from, you need to sell it to them, because if you're telling them to go somewhere else when that money could be in your pocket. So I thought to myself, I need to start selling hair extensions. And another reason why I started wearing hair extensions is because I went natural. So of course I wasn't comfortable. I won't say I didn't like, but I wasn't comfortable with my natural fro. So I said, I need some hair. I need to put some hair on my head. So I started, getting into hair extensions, and I found a liking for hair extensions, and that's how Intense Beauty came about. And that's how my book came about, because people keep asking me, well, how can I start a hair extensions company? So I just put all the answers to their questions in one place, in a book. And it's called Boss Up or Sit Down, because if you want to be the boss, you gotta rise to the occasion.
Give it up for Atia. You spoke that like a true entrepreneur, and you kind of filled in some of these questions that I have for you. But I want you to tell me everybody know what hair extensions are, right? A weave, wig, something to make your hair different than what it naturally is?
Yes, Auntie.
Tell me what's unique about your hair extension company.
My hair extension company was built for women who like to look pretty. They might not need hair extensions, but they like to wear them. You like a different look. I like a different look. I might be brown today, might be blonde tomorrow, doesn't matter. So I created my company to fit the girl who likes nice things. So I handpick every texture, every bundle, because I sell wigs. Bundles is with tracks, wefts, however you want to say it. Bundles, I sell basically all types of extensions, clip-ins. So what makes my company unique is I interact with every customer, I talk to every customer, I package every order, everything is done by me, I market, everything I do. So I try to be as personable as I can with each customer, and try to just, leave a good impression on everyone that I come in contact with.
So tell me, at what point did you realize, I know you explained why you wrote the book, but at what point, what was your, as Oprah would say, aha moment?
I wrote my book in January of this year. My aha moment that I need to write a book came when my daughter, she was sitting right next to me as I was writing, actually. And it just came to me like, I can't, tend to her, answer all these questions, because I would get a whole bunch of emails and DMs and just questions on how can I do this, how can I do that, where do I need to go, this and that and that. And I was just like, okay, she's crying, you're asking me this. And I'm just like, I'm gonna just put all of this in one place. And then I thought, like, what's one place that people would, pick up and read? And I was like, a book. Yeah. So I said, let me just put it all in a book. And I did it in question format. So it's not real, it's real direct and to the point. It's a short read, it's an ebook. And I just put it in question format. I took a survey on Instagram and asked people, what are some questions that you want answered when you're looking to, start up your own business or whatever. And it's not just for hair extensions. It can go for any type of business, because it's really generic business related questions. And they gave me the questions and I just wrote them in answer form, like chapter by chapter is a different question.
What was the easiest part about writing it? I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I know it couldn't have just come that easy. Is it the questions that you were given that you just put into the book and then answer them? Or, like, what made it, for you easy to come to pass?
I would say it was easy because I know what I'm talking about. I went through what I'm talking about. So really it's basically just me giving my experience more so than writing a book. So every question I answered I had a personal relation to the topic and the answer. So it was really easy for me. Really the hardest part was me just trying to be as thorough as possible, because when you're reading it and you don't know anything about business, you want somebody to really go into detail. Because me, myself, I would ask people, to help me through Instagram, of course, because Instagram is really a way to connect nowadays. Even though it's social media, it's really a free connection to people's inboxes. So I would ask people, I would DM them, email them, whatever, and they wouldn't be as thorough as I would have wanted them to be, because I want you to talk to me like I don't know anything. Like, tell me what I need to do. And that's what I tried to do in my book. So I get really good feedback from my book. They say, you really answered the question. I really know what I need to do now and everything like that. So I'm happy that they get it.
So, as a kid, we all say, when I grow up, I want to... Tell me what you wanted to do when you grew up.
Well, I will just start by saying that I'm not a college graduate. I dropped out of college, and my mom's right there, so her hearing this story, she's like, but I dropped out of college. I had only one semester before I can get my associate's degree. Wow. And right when I dropped out of college, in that same year, in September, I launched Intense Beauty. Because, I will give you the background of that. I was using financial aid to go through school, and my financial aid had stopped. And I was like, I'm not paying for this because this ain't really what I wanted to do. So I was going to college for communications. And I learned a lot in my classes. It was good marketing skills that I learned. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do communications for another company or anything like that. I wanted to be the boss and run my own business. Because now I'm still a full-time employee. I work for Horizon Blue Cross, and I hate going to work, clocking in and doing all that. So I'm trying to expand my business as much as I can, so that way I don't have to punch in nobody's clock. So to answer your question, when I was a kid, I originally wanted to be a fashion merchandiser. I wanted to buy clothes for the retail stores and everything like that. And then I worked back then it was Limited 2. And I said, this is not for me. I don't want to help nobody pick out no clothes. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to fold up none of these clothes at the end of the night that drive me messed up. So this is not what I wanted to do. So then I went into communications and I liked it, but that's just not where it's at for me. But that's how that came about. No, I didn't think I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Well, you are a communicator, because that's what you're doing right now, and all entrepreneurs are communicators. So I'm sure what you learned in communications definitely is following you. And you're doing a wonderful job, right? So you started your business in 2016. At this at this time, would you think that do you feel like you're satisfied with where you are? Did you think that you would be further now? And where do you want to go with your business?
I'm very satisfied with the progress that I have made. Of course, you're always the hardest on yourself. I always say to myself, I could be doing more. I actually took a year off last year from my business. Not really like a break, but I slowed down because having my baby, I was so sick and everything, I couldn't even function. But I'm very happy with the progress I've made a year later. I feel like I'm back motivated and back focused, and I can, do what I scale my business like I want to. Right now, I'm working on business credit because that's something that you really need when you run a business. Not a lot of people know that businesses establish their own credit, but they actually do. And business credit is far more greater than personal credit, and that's something that I'm learning. So every day I learn something new within the business world. So I'm only 3 years in, so I say to myself, how far along can I be with knowing nothing? So it's like I've come really far to not know anything.
And I am so proud of you. I've known you your entire life. And just a little sidebar, like I said earlier, her mom is my BFF, and I knew her before she was conceived. And I've watched this young lady grow into the woman she is now. I love you. She got tears in her eyes. I did it. But watching you go through what you've gone through and watching your success makes me very proud of you. And I purposely invited Atia because I wanted, with the book club, we wanted to have a mix of different genres of writing. We wanted to have different demographics of authors. And what we were able to do was to get 3 different age brackets of the authors that we have here today. And when you're planning an event, you don't know who your audience is going to be until they start selling your tickets, right? And in the book world, you tend to get like the 30 and over for, readers. But I wanted Atia to be here because I knew she can be an encouragement. And as an older woman, I know that she inspires me. And I was wanting and hoping that she can be an inspiration to you all. I'm sorry I made you cry. But to see such a beautiful young mompreneur, material girl sitting here looking just as fly as she wanted to, do people still say fly? I see her future. How many of you can say that, you started something and you're watching it grow? Hey, Barbara. And, 3 years later, you're satisfied. A lot of times we'll start something and quit within the first year. We'll start something and feel like we're not where we want to be, so we just stop. But she pushed through having a baby, raising a baby, taking a break, going to college, and working full time. So, Atia, I am extremely proud of you. I want to thank you for being our guest today. And at this time, I want to ask if anyone has any questions. Just a second, she's going to bring you a mic.
Hi, Atia. I'm Monica. Atia, I was interested in, hold it closer. Okay. I know every time you go to buy hair, it's being sold by Asian people. I wanted to know how you overcame that, because I noticed a lot of times we love our people, but a lot of times they think ice is colder somewhere else. So I know that must be difficult or somewhat of a journey in, getting Black people to really support our own businesses.
I would say you just have to, it goes like this. Once people see that you're confident in your product and you stand behind your product 100%, they will follow. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes, us as a culture, we don't jump on right away. But as long as you're consistent with putting forth good products and you're, consistent with wearing your own product and talk about your own product, and if they see you one day and they see you next week, you're still doing it, then they will, take an interest in it and potentially buy from you. But us as the culture, we are not the first ones to buy. Did I answer your question?
We have another question over here to your left.
Experience is always the best teacher. What would you do differently?
I wouldn't do anything differently. I probably would just have started quicker. I started at 24. I had this thought to create my company way before I actually started. If anything, I would just have started when I thought about it.
Any more questions? We have another question over here.
I just want to know what obstacles you may have faced, because I know in starting a business, it's like the first year is always the hardest, and there's a loss that occurs during that first year. So.
My first year was actually my best year. That's when my company grew 6 figures. What obstacles I faced along the way would have been I would say being pregnant, of course. That was the biggest obstacle because I was really sick. Other than that, I would say I've always been focused and always been determined. So failures come. You can't avoid failures. My biggest loss was when figuring out pricing. I priced my products too low. So when I would have a sale, I wouldn't profit as much. So that was an obstacle that I faced in the beginning. But even though I didn't make as much, I still was able to bring in 6 figures. So that's probably my biggest obstacle, which was learning the pricing and learning, where I want my company to be, like that.
Any other questions? Atia, I love you. Thank you so much for having a candid conversation with me today. And before you take your seat, I want you to tell people how they can purchase your book and how they can follow you on social media.
Okay. My book is available on Amazon. It's an ebook. You can simply just type in Boss Up or Sit Down. You'll see a picture of me on the cover. I have on this top. And you can follow me on social media at MTRLGIRL. All social media. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything. And I also have cards for you guys. If you don't remember, I can just give you a card.
Give it up for Tia!